Welcome to 13 Hour Times 62
Lego Set Reviews.
This is set number 2175, Wyplash Spinner. Ages 6 to 14, 23 pieces. This is from the 2011 version of Ninjago and retails for $10. Let's take a closer look at the box art now. So we open this up from just peeling off the sides. It'll come out something like this. You also have this piece that can come right out on its own. Here's the bag with all the pieces, the spinner, instructions, and the cards. The cards come in their own packaging inside of here. So now you've seen that, we'll take a look at the actual components of the set. We're going to start off with Wyplash. Just going to put him up on the spinner like this. He is made the exact same way as he's found in other Ninjago sets of the time, and similar to other skeleton spinners, his arms are turned sideways so he can use the weapons for the spinner game. You can see he has white on him, and that means he is in ice form, or ice element. He's got lots of printing on his head and on his shoulders. As you can see, those are new pieces and used a few times when it comes to skeletons. He has no real back printing. We do have the same bamboo hat as we do with Sensei Wu, so this one you'll be able to find a little bit more commonly, even in 2013 sets and 2012 sets. You can also see there's a little detail here, which I think is kind of funny. They have a little worm poking out of a crack in his head. So, I don't know if that means that he's a little bit nutty, or he has a little friend living inside his head. They don't have that printing, or any printing, on the other side. But he is very unique with that printing. It makes him a little bit more unique, a little bit different than Crunch's printing. You can also see a little bit of detail there on his torso. And that's how it goes on. So now we'll take a look at each of the weapons. First weapon that he has is just a simple bone. It's a large version of the bone. Be nice for making a bone weapon out of this. In many cases, it has been. Next up we have a whip. It's made this exact way and appears in the package just the same. It's not curled up as it used to be in Indiana Jones sets. They have them now where it's whipped out like this. And you can attach pieces on both sides of the whip. So you can hold it technically in two ways. And last but not least, we have our golden weapon of the set. This is a double chain weapon. I don't know the exact name of it, but it does look very interesting. Especially as they show it on the cover of the set. Because they have these two golden chains. It's about 2/3 of the way of making the golden nunchucks. So if you miss the opportunity for the golden nunchucks, these help with it. You only need one of the chains for the nunchucks, so you'd have to take the other one off. This one seems to be the most wide-ranged weapon in all the spinner ones in the set. But we'll take a test of that later. Here we have the spinner by itself. As you can see, it has a purple and blue pattern on it. The purple on the bottom and the blue on the top. The arrows are lined up, so that means when we put a figure in there, it should mostly lock in place. And you can see we have a little skull design on each corner of the spinner. It's a very cool looking spinner. We get 3 extra pieces in the set, and they're really not extras, even though some people may claim them to be. They're actually used for certain items or certain cards that you use during the game, or you can use them to stand up cards to try to practice using a spinner, which we will do later. And here are the cards in the set. The first one is Wyplash. We have 100 Fire, 400 Thunder, 100 Earth, and 400 Lightning. Lightning, I said 400, and then Ice 400. So you can see his stronger points are Lightning and Ice. The next card we have is Ice Shield. Build the above on the spinner until a player wins, then remove. This is in 400 ice, so he is compatible with this card. And you can use those blue pieces in the set to make them. The back of all these cards are all the same, just as they were in 2012. Weapon swap. 400 lightning. Swap a weapon with an opponent's weapon. This would be very useful if you have a card, or if you use this card with, let's say, you don't have your golden weapon, but someone else does. So you can swap it against theirs, and then you'll get to use any golden weapon cards. Or if they just have a better range weapon, they could, you could take an advantage on them. Twister, 300 lightning. Lay down the card, opponent loses if a spinner touches it, then remove it. Now cards like this I like, where they're hazards you can put right into the area. I have a few like that, or know of a few others. And the gold card that we have in the set is Head Spin, 100 fire, and golden weapon required. Opponent spins character on head until a player wins. Now I've actually tested with Wyplash. He himself can spin on his head, and I've tried with other characters, but they're not so successful. So we'll try that later when we get to that point. So you can see we can stand the cards on here with the pieces. We also get one instruction book and a rule book. It's all fold out and shows how to build it on the top. Pretty simple to build because you're mainly building the minifigure and the spinner. And then you have all the instructions of how to play the game down here. It also shows you more of the instructions on the back using the cards and some of the sets at the time. Two of the sets featuring Wyplash are shown in here. The two on the bottom. So that gives an indication of where he's used in Ninjago. The Skull Truck and the Earth Dragon Defense. So now we're going to test out each of the weapons. We're going to see how well they work. And then we'll try to test out him spinning upside down. First weapon we're going to test is the bone. So let me see if I can move some stuff around and we can get this ready. Basically trying to see how well he can spin with it without tilting over too far, and how well he can hit the object. In this case, the cards. So far, it seems pretty good. There's not too much distance from the spinner itself, but you can see it's just enough for close combat. And it kind of knocked the cards over lightly because it's a light weapon. Next one we're going to try is the whip. Now, mind you, I only have the whip just like this. If you want to, since it's a flexible plastic, you can stretch it out all the way and give it a bit more length. But I'm only going to try it as it was made in the package for now. If you'd like to see it with all of it extended, I could try to do that, but it's probably going to bend back. Let's try it now. Maybe I spun it too hard. So we're just going to set that up again. And here we go. Okay, so maybe the whip isn't the best thing for him. Especially in the way that it's made, because it's a short range weapon that curls up back on itself. So it may have a tendency to, if an opponent hits part of it, it may, even here, it could provide some flinging. But if you have the weapon stretched all the way out, it probably will work a little better. It's also a pretty light weapon, so because it's flexible plastic. Now let's try out our golden chains. So you can see we have a lot of range with this. I just need to actually hit our target. Oh, I hate when that happens. Let's try it again. This time without knocking over everything. And let's try it again, trying to knock over something. Keep in mind this happens a lot when I try to do spinner sets, so I do try to make it better each time, or I redo it if necessary. And it might be this point. So it's a little bit hard. If you try to get it where it's not touching the chain so much, you might be able to get a better chance of spinning it. However, I don't know what happened there. I thought it was going to hold in. Maybe I didn't have it in the arrows. Seemed fine before. How about you move up into the camera? So maybe the chains, it's a hit or miss with them. I mean, we do like the range of it, but I don't know if he's going to stay stable with it. Or maybe I'm just need to work on my spinning. Now I'm just going to show you, because this is interesting. For the head spin card, it tells you to keep your character upside down spinning until a player wins. And of course, if you were to fall off from spinning upside down, you would lose. So that would be an easy victory if your opponent was very powerful. You just slap that in, and they say, oh, they can't do it, unless they have Wyplash. Wyplash's bamboo hat provides a great spinning top, just as the bottom of the spinner has a great spinning top. It may not look like it much, but Wyplash can actually spin on his head better than most characters. It's enough time that if you had to do it with both players, they would actually probably last a little bit longer. See what I mean? So I do recommend getting Wyplash. He's a very cool character. It's a cheap way to get him, and I definitely recommend him for that head spin ability. That way, in case you do run into it, you won't have a problem because of that bamboo hat. I want to do that again. Ooh, that was fun. It also has some okay weapons. I would recommend getting other sets as far as the weapons go, but he does have some pretty cool looking cards. Thanks for watching this video. And he's flying all over the place. And we'll see you next time with more Ninjago reviews, more LEGO reviews, and anything else you would like to see on 13 Hour Time 2.